Are you single and ready for a real, lasting connection? Stop waiting. Start preparing for the love you deserve. Welcome to Singles Seeking Soulmate, Skool, the ultimate space for growth-minded singles who are serious about love, commitment, and building a future with the right partner. Men and women 25 plus looking to be relationship ready. Those with a growth mindset, eager to become their best self. Serious about commitment and marriage, financially stable and employed. Open to networking, friendship, and possible romance. Join Singles Seeking Soulmate Skool today and step into your best love-ready self. Contact me today for a free 30-day trial of Skool.
Good afternoon, y'all. All right, I am headed to Charlottesville from Richmond. So it's about an hour away, and headed to the Tom Tom Festival today in Charlottesville, and we'll be there overnight. And I just wanted to, let me go this way. I don't know why I was about to go left and I need to go right. And I just wanted to jump on and talk to y'all about marriage. Marriage is the new luxury item. Marriage is the new Rolls Royce. Marriage is the new Louis Vuitton. Okay? Marriage is a luxury item, especially in our community. Okay? Amongst Black people, that is the new luxury item. Because for some reason, y'all, marriage rates are plummeting in our Black community. Like, we are struggling. And when you hear these talking points online, the men saying that marriage don't benefit men, and, they're not getting married no more, it's a bad deal, and all the talking points. I don't need to repeat them. Y'all know the talking points, right? And then the women now, their talking points is, I'm not going to be controlled, and I'm not going to have a marriage like my grandparents. I'm not going to be financially controlled or beaten on or whatever. I mean, it's all kind of craziness that y'all saying marriage is, and most marriages are not that. But y'all got all these wild stories in your mind about what marriage is, and some of y'all ain't never even been married, and some of y'all don't know many people that are married, and you don't know what real marriage is. But anyway, but you got all these stories y'all telling yourself about marriage. And so the women are saying they ain't gonna do it, and they don't see it as no big deal. I don't see it as no badge of honor. And the men are saying it don't benefit them. And here we are. We at a standstill. We at what they call a Mexican standoff. The men won't do it, and the women claim they don't want it no more. That's the latest thing. I don't want it no more. And I don't care what you think of me. I'm 50 plus, and I ain't never been married, and I don't care what you think about it. But that is the new luxury item, because see, here's what both sides don't recognize, is that that's why we can't build wealth. That's why we ain't got nothing. Because we refuse to follow the model for building wealth. We refuse to follow the model for creating true stability in our community. And that is through marriage. That is through family. That is through coming together, bringing everything you have and bringing it together for the betterment of the unit as a whole. So not I, not me, but we and us. Like, if we could figure out how to do that, we would be in a better state. But we are falling for this narrative of the toxic independent. I don't need nobody. I don't need no man. I don't want no woman. I want my peace. I'd rather have my peace. And I don't even need friends. I don't even need friends in my life. Like, we're falling for that narrative And it is destroying us. That narrative is going to destroy our community. But a lot of us wonder why we don't have nothing, because we cannot seem to come together. We cannot seem to act in our best interests, either as a couple, as a family, as a community, as a unit. Happy Saturday, evolving _ Lulu 74. Happy Saturday. We can't seem to do that. But just know, y'all, that that is the new luxury item. Being married and having a healthy marriage. Okay? I haven't been on long. I have not been on long. Okay? So that is the new luxury item. That is how people are going to build generational wealth. That's how they're going to get ahead. That's how they're going to overcome their generational curses in their family. They're going to do it through marriage. And those of you that are not, you've been jaded, you've been turned against marriage, you believe that it is all these things that it is not. When really all you have to do is find yourself a good person, you vet that person, you find someone who wants marriage. You find someone that's a part of their value system. You vet that person. You determine compatibility. You determine, the connection and the chemistry and the communication and the conflict resolution. But you come together and you make a commitment to each other and to the relationship. Hey, these are our goals. This is where we want to go. This is what's important to us. And then you walk that out. You walk that out every single day. You hold each other accountable to that commitment that you made. That's it. That's it. I'm committed to not cheating. I'm committed to not beating. I'm committed to not being addicted to anything. I'm committed to being kind and compassionate and empathetic. Okay? And you make commitments and you keep them. That is the sign of an emotionally mature adult. You can make and keep commitments. That is the sign of an emotionally mature man. That's what I teach women. Baby, you want to know right away if he is emotionally mature? Can he make and keep commitments? Can he do what he says he's going to do? Okay? When you tell him no, does he lose his mind? Like all of these little things that if you would just check, they determine a man's emotional maturity. And honestly, the number one thing that is missing from many modern day relationships is emotional maturity. A lot of people are 8 and 9-year-olds. Oh, she said I'm wearing orange too. Well, I'm on my way to UVA, so I got on my Cavaliers t-shirt. But a lot of adult people are 8 and 9 and 10 years old. That's the problem. They have not emotionally matured. And so you're sitting here thinking you're talking to a 35 or a 40 or a 50-year-old, and you're dealing with a 10-year-old. That's the problem. And you're wondering why they're screaming or they're yelling or they're talking over you or they're calling you names or they're shutting down or they're walking out because they are not emotionally mature. So please, please vet for emotional maturity. That's the first thing I do. If a person cannot have hard conversations, if they can't talk things out, if they flip out when I tell them no, okay, if they get real unruly, right? If they call me out of my name, if they play little silly games where, they hang up and they don't call me back for days. No, no, no. And this goes both ways, up, down, side to side, men, women. This is how you determine that person's emotional maturity. But we have a lot of emotionally immature women. We have a lot of emotionally immature men. And if you have one emotionally immature person in the relationship, it puts a lot of stress on the other person. If you have two emotionally immature people in the relationship, it's just a roller coaster. Up, down, in, out. You know, and it's funny because 9 times out of 10, a lot of those relationships actually last because both of y'all are petty. Both of y'all are childish. Both of y'all are emotionally immature. And so a lot of those relationships between two emotionally immature people, they wind up lasting. It's a nightmare. It's a complete and utter nightmare. But those relationships be lasting the longest. But the ones where one person is emotionally mature and the other person is not, that's eventually going to end because it's just too much weight on the other person. It's like, yeah, I can't do this. This person is petty. This person is childish. You know, they don't know how to regulate their emotions. They don't know how to communicate effectively. You know, there's a lot of nonsense. You know, no emotionally mature person is going to put up with that for long. It's one thing to be patient while the other person grows and matures, but it's another thing to just, you know, for years on end, dealing with that nonsense, they're not going to do it. She said, I've noticed that years ago, people have arrested development at the age of their trauma, 40 plus years old, but responding like a 10-year-old. Yep, that's a lot of people now. And if you did not know this from a biological perspective, that's what happens to women when they have children before they turn 21. So, gentlemen, let me give you a quick pro tip. If you meet a woman and she has children, I want you to ask her how old she was when she had her first child. That's a pro tip. Okay? If she had her first child before she was 21, I can assure you that unless she has done some work on herself, unless she has some therapy under her belt, some books, some reading, some coaching or something, there is going to be some emotional immaturity there. She is stuck at the age that she had her first child. If she has sexual abuse, the same thing applies. Okay? If she has sexual abuse in her past, you know, if you find that out, you ask what age, yeah, there's a high probability that she is stuck at that age. So that's a quick, fast way to find out about a woman's emotional immaturity. But there are a lot of emotionally immature women out here. A lot. They're petty, they're childish, they're followers, they don't know how to think for themselves. They need a lot of outside validation and attention and admiration. They don't know, they have low self-esteem, low self-worth. It's just wild to me. I was watching this video the other day, and it was a content creator on YouTube talking about the OnlyFans phenomenon. OnlyFans has been out since 2016. So that's what, 9 years. So in 9 years, OnlyFans has destroyed us. It's a small percentage, but it's a percentage, has destroyed a percentage of women in our country. In 9 years, it has taken a group of women and utterly destroyed them. Utterly destroyed their chances of having a happy, healthy marriage, having a happy, healthy family one day. It has destroyed their mental health. It has destroyed their future. It has destroyed their physical health. This platform in 9 short years. And think about how long pornography has been around. So I'm 57. Pornography's been around at least 57 years. Perhaps longer. But in 9 short years, there's a percentage of young women that have been destroyed by this OnlyFans platform. And look, let's go even further. Let's quadruple that number for men. Let's take the number of women that are on OnlyFans creating content and let's quadruple it to the number of men that are paying for said content. Like, this is one of the most destructive modern day things that we have encountered, that in 9 short years, it has destroyed millions of lives. And look, most of the lives that it has destroyed, most people aren't even aware of yet. Like, they're not even aware of how bad their life is destroyed. They don't know that yet. They have yet to figure out, oh, OnlyFans has destroyed my life. They still think everything is fine. They still think everything is going just great. But nope. One day they're going to wake up. And a lot of these girls are waking up. I've been watching some interviews where some of these girls have gotten off of OnlyFans. They turned to Christ, turned to God and gotten off OnlyFans. And I've heard their stories. Some of them are waking up. Because like I said, y'all think that's a long-term plan. That you can't do that long-term, sweetheart. That's not a long-term plan. That's not a retirement plan. OnlyFans is not a retirement plan. Most women can't do it longer than a year. Okay? Because it is soul sucking. Most women cannot be on OnlyFans for 20 years. It is a soul sucking experience. All right? It's not possible. It's a money grab. It's a quick money grab. And then God help you if you do make a lot of money. I think one of the girls says she made $14 million on OnlyFans. So God help you if the government don't take half of it and you don't spend the other half. You don't spend the other half on a bunch of dumb stuff and you are left at 25 years old, broke, busted, and disgusted. So what was the point of selling your soul? Make that make sense to me. What was the point of doing all of these sick, egregious acts, these disgusting, foul, degenerative sexual acts, for what? To end up at 25 broke? What's the point? So yes, a lot of these girls don't realize it yet, that their lives are destroyed. She said, you got grandmothers on OnlyFans. I know. Oh, trust me, I know. I've seen some of these stories too. It's crazy. But they don't realize it yet, that their life is destroyed. A lot of these girls still think everything is fine, still think life is great. But, I can see it down the road, what's going to happen. And the men too. The men, paying for this and engaging in this type of behavior, it's just a matter of time before they wake up and realize, that one boy talking about he spent $20,000 on OnlyFans. I mean, this is crazy. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. So we need marriage. We need God. We need a lot. Like we need God and Christ. We need marriage. We need family. We need good friends in our life. We need mentors. We need healthy people in our life to try to combat some of this. Okay, I'm going back in the comments. Evolving_Lulu74 said, my mother got pregnant with me at 17, but has always acted like a petulant 8-year-old. But see, that's why your mom had a baby prior to being 21. And so she didn't complete the maturation cycle. There is a maturation cycle that we all are on and have to complete. And once you have a child, it stops that natural cycle. So you are now stuck. And what's so wild is people will say to me, well, that don't make sense. You would think the person would mature faster. You would think they would mature faster because now they have to be a parent. But that's a child being a parent. Like, you really don't know anything about being a parent. So you're playing house, you're playing mommy, you're playing daddy. You don't have a clue what being a good parent is. Okay, she said, wow, interesting. What about if a parent died? Here's something for you to know. So yes, I believe that can be a form of trauma, and that can create an arrested development in a child. It can, especially depending on how it all went down and, all of that. It can. However, if that child had a loving parent, that, a loving surviving parent, if they had other family members in their lives, if they were able to process their emotions about the death of the parent. So that's the most important thing. What people don't realize about trauma, they think it's the actual event that messes people up. No, it's actually not being able to properly process the event, not being able to talk about it openly, not being able to, have a guide, a healthy parent or therapist being there with you to help you process what happened. That is where the trauma gets stored. So for victims of sexual abuse, it's people who are ashamed, who never came forward, never told anyone. That is where the trauma happens. I am not able to talk about this. My parent isn't safe, or my guardians aren't safe, or the people at school, the people at church. I'm not able to process and properly understand what happened. That's where the trauma is actually originating. But it is believed that people who experience trauma and they receive empathy and compassion from a parent, from a caregiver, from someone at school, at church, if they're able to properly process what happened, they can move through it. They can move through it and everything be fine. But when they're not able to do that, when there is shame around it, when there is brushing it under the rug, not talking about it, that is where the trauma is originating. She said, I know a man whose maturity seems to have stopped in his teens. That corresponds with the loss of a parent. Yeah, that could happen, because if he wasn't given the space to process what happened and to talk about it and to cry about it and to feel about it, yes, there will be arrested development there. Okay, someone said, we'll tune in on YouTube. Okay, good. Marriage doesn't fit the narrative for this new world we are being ushered into. The old society that we grew up in is rapidly decaying along with all of its social norms. Well, it is believed. Well, I agree. And all of this has been prophesied. So all of this has been prophesied. So I don't disagree with what you're saying, because it's all prophecy. Like, we're not going to get away from what God has already told us is going to happen. There will be a breakdown of the family. That's been prophesied in the Bible. There will be a lack of love for one another. There will be a lack of compassion, a lack of empathy. We will see degeneracy. We will see hedonism. We will see selfishness take over our world. Me, I, right? Everything the Bible has stated, the natural disasters, okay, all of the things, all of these things were prophesied to happen. So we know God is not a liar. So we know these things are going to happen. Yes, agreed. And in my mind, in my belief, that means I've got to cling to God even stronger. I've got to cling to my values even harder and stronger. I've got to lean in to my relationship with God even more so, because I know these things were prophesied to happen, and I can't fall by the wayside. Okay? I can't fall into the nonsense. I know these things are going to happen, but I can't be a part of them. Those of us who grew up in the 1900s, marriage was the norm. Yep. Talk to someone who was born in the 2000s, and a lot of them will say them and their friends didn't grow up seeing marriages. Yep. So I agree. It's a prophecy. We knew this was going to happen, but here's the thing that I keep telling people, because here's a lot of people's attitude today. Well, if you can't beat them, join them. And I'm never going to do that. Well, if you can't beat them, join them. Right? That's why I was talking about polyamory and open marriages and all that mess. People are actually considering this mess, y'all, because they truly feel like, well, that's what everybody's doing. That's where it's headed. That's where it's going. And then you got people selling people this narrative of, Well, you already in an open relationship. You just don't know it, right? You already in a polyamorous relationship. Your man's not faithful to you. Your woman's not faithful to you. So you might as well knowingly open up your marriage. Your marriage is already open. So that is not a invitation for if you can't beat them, join them. If you can't beat them, join them, because that's what a lot of people are thinking. Well, Anita, I just need to, this is where it's going. And I need to stay relevant. I need to adapt. No, I will never adapt my values. That's what I want people to know. Do not adapt your values to wickedness. Do not adapt yourself to ungodliness, to unholiness. Okay? Because here's what you need to know. All this is going somewhere. All of this stuff is headed somewhere. So if you adopt if you can't beat them, join them attitude, you're going to end up where everybody else is going. And see, for those who are only focused on life on earth, when you only focus on this life, see, that's what's going to get y'all in trouble. Because you don't realize there's life after this. Okay? A lot of people are not thinking about their spiritual life outside of this. And so they just like, yeah, I need to adapt. I just need to do what everybody is doing. And right now they have open marriages and polyamory and hedonism, and don't nobody get married, and don't nobody have no kids no more. And men are bad and women are horrible. Like you just adapting to the negativity. You're adapting to the nonsense of this world, which is passing away. So please do not do that. Do not adopt these wicked ways. Do not adopt these ungodly ways. Okay? Because you're going exactly where they're going. She said, I unfortunately never had marriage demonstrated in my nuclear immediate family, but always wanted and believed in it for myself. Yeah, that's all I know. That's all I know is marriage. And that's all I've seen. Everyone in my family, I have 2 aunts who have never been married and 1 uncle. So 2 aunts, 1 uncle, never been married. Everyone else has been married or is married. My grandparents married until one of them died, had 10 children. All of us got married or are still married. Like, that's all I know. And look, y'all, even my daddy, this is what's wild. Even my daddy, who is a player from the Himalayas, okay? My daddy is a long-standing player, okay? And he'll all but admit this. Like, yeah, I love the ladies and the ladies love me. My daddy been married 4 times. 4 times my father has been married. So you would think that if anybody would not support marriage, it would be him. That he would be like, no, I ain't doing that. I want to keep my options open, right? Even my father believes in marriage. He knows the value of marriage. He knows how marriage benefits him as a man. And is on his 4th wife. So that's what's wild to me. You got dudes out here now that are selling the whole red pill rhetoric. Don't get married or don't have a family. You're free. Do what you want to do. Marriage doesn't benefit you. But you got dudes like my dad, who was a passport bro before that was a thing, for the last, 30 years? And he's like, nah, I'm getting married. So that's what's so wild. Y'all don't see, it just go clean over your head. But that is why my father has been successful. That's why he's always worked for himself. He's always ran a successful business. He's always had more than enough money. He's always been the provider in his household because he knows the benefits of marriage. He said, this is why spirituality is so key for people who want marriage. Agreed. You have to be in sync with God to properly read and discern even well-intentioned these days. You do. Cause look, God be telling me. He be telling me. He be like, no, not them, not him, not her. And that's a lot of reason why people don't want marriage, because they don't have any level of spiritual discernment, and they don't trust, and they shouldn't. Like, if I'm being honest, you shouldn't trust your own judgment. See, they don't trust their judgment to choose a good woman or a good man. So you know what they do? They throw out the baby with the bathwater. They say, nah, I'm just not even going to try. I'm just not even going to try. I'm not even going to pick. But see, I walk with the Lord. I walk with God now. And I am devout in my walk. So he has whispered to me, about a couple of people. Like, nah. And look, sometimes he'll tell me things to say. He'll show me things to do, and I'll do it, and it'll reveal the character of that person. He'll say this, tell him this, or do this. And it will reveal the character of that person. So y'all, can I be real? This thing is high level, spiritual, 5D. See, y'all are stuck in this earth suit. You're stuck in this physical body. You're stuck in what you can taste, touch, smell, see, hear. It's deeper than that. When you are on a spiritual level, when you're on a spiritual plane, it don't work like that. There are things that are going to pop into your mind and you're like, where did that come from? But it's telling you about a person. But that's why people don't even want to try, because they're not connected to spirit, right? You're completely disconnected. And if you can't figure it out on your own, you just throw the whole thing away. You know what? I'm just throwing this whole thing away. I can't figure it out. But you do. You have to walk with God. He will show you and tell you everything you need to know. And you have to be tuned into him to hear it. That's the difference. Okay? But marriage has become the luxury item. You getting a Rolls, you getting a Bentley, you getting a Tesla, you getting a Louis, or what's the other little bags? I don't even know the bags, y'all, because I could care less about these bags. A Gucci or whatever. That's attainable for everybody. Like, anybody can do that. Anybody can obtain some trips and some high post items and some Gucci slides and all. Anybody can obtain that. And some $5,000 hair. And all this other stuff, anybody can obtain that. Guess, if you want to impress me in 2025, get married. Get married. Stay married. Be happy in your marriage. Okay? Have some kids. Let those kids be good kids, right? That's what impresses me now. Your car don't impress me. Your home don't impress me. Your bags and your belts and your shirts and your clothes, that don't impress me. Your vacations don't impress me. You want to impress me? Get married, stay married, be happily married, be fulfilled in your relationship, have a family, let that family be a good family. That's what impresses me now. That's the luxury item, especially in our community. A lot of reasons. Let me go here. A lot of reason why women, let's be honest. You know why black women don't want marriage? Because they don't think it's possible. It's called sour grapes. A lot of black women don't want marriage because they don't believe it's possible. They don't believe they even have what it takes to obtain it. So they're like, nah, I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to be nobody's wife. I ain't trying to be controlled. I ain't trying to settle. That's their favorite line. I ain't trying to settle, Anita. When the truth is, can we be honest? Let's go here. You ready? You couldn't get in a good marriage if you wanted to. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's what they ain't saying. I couldn't get married and stay in a healthy marriage if I wanted to. That's what that means. So I just translated that for you. It is very hard right now for me to get in and stay in a healthy marriage. Okay? That's I just translated that, and how you feel about it is how you feel about it. Okay? It is rare the woman that truly, is genuine about not wanting to be married. That's rare. Okay? Those women exist. I do know women that are like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And to me, they would make great wives, but they're like, yeah, I'm good. Or they're just exhausted, right? Maybe they had a marriage, that marriage went sideways. I'm thinking of a good friend right now. I'm thinking of a great friend of mine right now. She was married. Her marriage went all kind of sideways, and she was a great wife. She was a great wife to her husband, and her marriage went sideways. And now she just like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I can't. She just heartbroken, and she don't even realize it. But it's like, yeah, I can't do it. And I think she'd make a great wife. That's why I keep saying, girl, just try it. Nope. So, yeah, I think she could get into a marriage, but she like, nah, I'm good. But the rest of y'all, nope. Sorry. Y'all wish you could. You wish you could. You wish you knew what it took to be. My apologies. My phone overheated. And I was told that the service wasn't great. So the service cut out, my phone overheated, so my apologies. But I was talking about women not wanting marriage, knowing good and well they do. They just don't know. Community. Hello. This is part 2 because my phone overheated, so I jumped back on as soon as I could cool my phone down. But we're going to see a lot of breakdown in our community because of the lack of marriage, because of the out of wedlock births. And look, y'all, this is what I find so fascinating. We are still having a lot of out of wedlock births. We're still having a lot of out of wedlock births. That has not changed. Still having babies out of wedlock, right? We have problems with marriage, but we don't have problems with having children. Something has to give. And you got people that have money. You got celebrities, you got Insta baddies and celebrities, and you got professional athletes. You got all these people that have money, and they don't have problems making kids. They're making kids left and right, but they will not get married. So it's just rampant and let's be real. It ain't even the people that have a lot of money. You got everyday Joes out here having a bunch of kids, making a bunch of kids with a bunch of different people, and women laying down and making a bunch of kids. So those two things, in my opinion, just don't go together. I don't understand why you'll take on the commitment of a child, a helpless child that can't do nothing for itself, and you gotta take care of it for 18 years, but you will not take on a full-grown adult. Like, that don't make sense to me. But, people are doing it every day. They're having a bunch of kids, and they're taking on the responsibility of a bunch of different kids. And then a lot of these girls, these Insta baddies, these Instagram baddies, they're having a bunch of kids for the money, to try to get money out of these guys. And y'all know that's going to have spiritual repercussions. You cannot play with God. You cannot play with Mother Nature and think that there's not going to be repercussions. There's going to be repercussions. And all you're doing is you're committing a curse on your family. You're committing a curse on your lineage. How are you going to bring a child into the world, to get money out of some pro ball player? Like, that's crazy. And the fact that the women, they actually say, oh, it's not about the money. What? Like, who do you think you're talking to? It's not about the money. Y'all stop calling me a gold digger. What? Come on. And I can only imagine all the men that you had sex with that you didn't get pregnant by. So let's not make it about wanting to have a baby, because you didn't have their baby. You waited and had this ball player's baby. Come on, stop it. It's a sickness. It's like a mental illness. What has come over people? It's like this collective mental illness that you won't sit here and convince me that you didn't get pregnant by this ball player for money. Come on. It's wild out here, y'all. And the dudes, y'all, like I said, y'all dumb enough to fall in the trap. The coochie trap, as I call it. You dumb enough to fall in the coochie trap, then that's what it is. I don't feel sorry for neither of them. I feel sorry for the children. I feel sorry for the innocent children they're bringing into the world. But I definitely don't feel sorry for the women, and I definitely don't feel sorry for the men. So she said they lying why they didn't have a baby for the manager at T-Mobile. Yeah, it's wild. I can't even. He said it's a disease at this moment. It is. It's like a mental illness. It's just sick to me. It's a sickness that's taken over our world. And look, they keep acting like it's normal. And I'm wrong. I'm wrong. How dare I say something about it? I'm crazy out of my mind. Yeah, it's wild. That's all I'm gonna say. It's wild, y'all. Stay safe out here. It's wild. But no, we need to, those of us that got sense in our head, we need to prioritize being married. So whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, you need to know how to choose a good mate. I'm always talking about this. I'm giving y'all all the game I got. Here's how you choose a good mate. Here's how you sustain a happy, healthy marriage. And all you got to do is use those tools, and you're going to be all right. Find somebody that wants marriage. Find somebody that can commit to doing things a certain way, and you'll be okay. Yeah, she said we're wrong, and my personal favorite, judgmental. It's sad. It is beyond sad. But just understand that people who are sick, people who are mentally ill, they have to bring you into their world. They have to bring you on their side of foolishness so they can feel better about themselves, right? Because you saying what you're saying is bringing shame upon them. They're feeling ashamed. That's why they have to bring you into this crazy world to stop that feeling of shame. So don't fall for it. But we have got to get back to the business. We got to get back to our Father's business, which is living righteous, doing things the way he wants us to do them, God's way, and having a good life. Okay? That's it. That's it. And outside of that, like I said, we're focused on all the wrong things right now. And look, a friend of mine was talking about, when I was talking about the conditional love, there is no unconditional love or unconditional relationship. And talking about, the transactional nature of relationships and marriage and, all of this. I said, look, there will always be conditions, because again, if you're a grown adult, if you're a mature adult, you understand that there are conditions. So there will always be conditions. But the conditions don't have to be unrealistic. An unrealistic condition is, oh, he better bring $1 million. Oh, he better, have an exorbitant amount of money. That's an unrealistic condition. Okay? The condition of a man working, that's not unrealistic. And that is my condition. If we're going to be in a healthy, happy marriage, he is going to work or own a business or do something to earn a living until he's retired. That is not an unrealistic condition. Now to say, oh, he better be bringing in $10 million, that's an unrealistic condition. Okay? So we have to know the difference. And a lot of what the modern women today are talking about is unrealistic. It's not realistic. Because most men are not making $1 million or $10 million or whatever they want. So she said, I don't understand all the options that these athletes have, why they keep choosing the same IG baddie. Like I said, that's what they want. That's what they want, and they getting exactly what they want. They getting exactly what they want. So a whole lot of nonsense, a whole lot of heartache. Okay, so we got to do better, especially in our community. It just makes me sad. Our community is going down in flames. like I think everybody is suffering. Don't get me wrong. Let me make this clear. People of other communities are suffering, but ours is going down in flames. Like, we are really, really, really doing bad. And that's the community I'm in. That's the community I'm speaking on, because ours is doing real bad. So we have got to do better. Because I'm ready. Look, I'm ready to jump over into another race. I'm ready to claim Indian. I'm ready to claim Hispanic. I'm ready to claim something else, y'all, because it's just doing so bad. It's doing so bad right now. And one thing I've been talking to black women about lately is stop perpetuating the stereotype. Stop perpetuating the stereotype. Stop responding with anger and profanity. Stop responding with, just popping off and the attitude. Like, stop perpetuating the stereotype. I just don't understand it, y'all. Why do you have to feed in to the stereotype? I don't understand that. I saw a video the other day of a lady who was out videotaping herself, but some guy was in it. And she's like, oh, you're in my shot. You're standing close to me or whatever. And he was like, oh, my bad. And then she just popped off. She just started screaming and yelling and cussing him out. I'm like, why? Why are we like this? Why is that our response? So like, hey, sir, I'm trying to film something. You're in my personal space. Like, why do we have to pop off and cuss everybody out? It's just so embarrassing to me, y'all. I'm sorry. It just embarrasses me. And really, look, if she ain't embarrassed, I'm embarrassed for her. Because why? Why you got to do that? But anyway. All right, I'm here. I'm getting off of my exit. I hope y'all have a fabulous Saturday. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. When I tell y'all, it is gorgeous out here today. It's supposed to be 80. Oh, it's 83 right now. I thought it was supposed to be 80, but it's 83. And it's supposed to be 83, 80 something for the next 5 days. So I'm going to get my hike on. I'm going to get my bike riding on. I'm going to take my dog to the dog park. I'm going to have a good next couple of days enjoying this beautiful weather. So I hope it's nice and pleasant wherever you all are. But I got to make this members only because, I done went off on a couple of folks that I know is going to be snapping in the comments. But have a great rest of your day. Remember, you can join Skool for 30 days for free by invitation only. I send you an invite. You click it, you go in, you set up your profile, and you are now in Skool. I want everyone to try it. I want everyone to try Skool for 30 days and see everything we're doing positive in it. We're doing a lot of amazing positive things in Skool. And I want you to be a part of it, especially if you are truly serious about marriage. If you're serious about finding someone to be with and to marry and to have a family with and to have a good life with. You have to learn the skills on how to do that. Most of us don't know. I didn't know. But I took the time. Husband right now because I have the skills necessary. I did not when I chose the first time. I chose someone that was a horrible husband because I did not have a clue of what to look for. Now I know what to look for. Okay? So I have no problem helping other women choose a really good husband. How many? 6 couples that I work with got married last year because I helped them choose good spouses. Okay? But come into Skool, send me a message at info@betterlovemovement.com. I will send you that invite. You can join us on Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when we have our Zoom call. And you can catch up on all the lessons that are in the course, Relationship Skills 101. I also share other people's, videos and content. And we learn all the skills necessary to choose a good person and be in a healthy relationship. We have to start somewhere. And I made up my mind that I was tired of talking about the problem and I needed to be a part of the solution. So that is what Skool is all about. It is a part of the solution. Okay? So email me, get your invitation, and join us. Thank you for watching. I want you to like this video and share it with anyone you think could benefit from it. And please subscribe to the channel. I thank you all so much for all of the support that you give. I hope you have a great day. And as always, stay open to love.